This is a demonstration on how to release the final grade in D2L. Keep in mind that students will not see the final grade column, which is to the far right of your gradebook, unless it is released. And also keep in mind that final grades in D2L do not automatically transfer over into eServices. So that still is a manual process where you need to log into eServices and transfer your scores. If you're keeping your gradebook in D2L, those will need to be also recorded using eServices for the official grade. So let's talk about releasing the final grade. The first thing that you need to do when you're releasing the grade is to determine if you're using the calculated grade or the adjusted grade. The final calculated grade is a grade that's just an addition of all the grade items that are used in the gradebook. It's calculated based on what you've entered in the grade items. It cannot be adjusted without editing an individual grade item. So if you have somebody that's on the threshold and almost at the next level, this person's almost at 60%, you would have to manipulate an individual grade item in order to raise that score. The adjusted final grade allows you to modify a student's score in the final grade before you release it. So I'll demonstrate both of those. So first of all, let's figure out what we're currently set to release here. So I'm going to scroll back over to where I can see my settings button. I'll click on settings, and then I'm going to go to calculation options. And what I'll do first is I'll show you the calculated final grade. So I'm going to switch this to calculated final grade. This is the one that I'm going to release to make available to students. And then I click Save. Yes. And then I have to click Close. I'm going to return to Enter Grades. And at this point, I've already made sure that I have all my zeros entered for items that the student did not complete. This is an extra credit one. It's indicated as a bonus, so that's good. And I've scrolled over to my final grade and I make sure my total points possible is the same for every student. Now I'm ready to release the final grade. I'll click on the drop-down arrow next to Final Calculated Grade and choose Grade All. So to release the grade, I'm going to select all students. I'll click on the box to select all students. And then you see there's a button at the top, Release or Unrelease. So I can click that because I'm ready to release them. What that will do is it'll put a check mark in each of the boxes for the student. And then I have to remember to save this. So I'll click Save. And I'll click Yes. And now I'm going to cancel so that I can return to the gradebook. And I'm going to scroll all the way over again to where I can see my final calculated grade column. And you'll see a little icon next to each student. This is an open eye, which means that students can now see that what their final grade is. If you ever want to view a student's gradebook to see what it looks like from their perspective from the gradebook, you can click on a student's name, and then at the top of the page use the drop-down next to the student's name and click Preview. At the top of the page you'll see what the student sees as their final calculated grade, and then also all their individual grade items. So this concludes the demonstration on how to release a final calculated grade. If you're using the final adjusted grade, there's a separate tutorial for that.